you're going to die doing something that you have absolutely no passion about because you're too scared to take a risk. Okay, so let me just go ahead and roll my sleeves up for this one because your girl left her corporate job and it's been about 3 weeks now. My last day was January 31st and here I am still alive. So that's gotta count for something. No, I'm super sarcastic, but with all seriousness though, y'all, I left my corporate job and I was scared to do it, but I did it. Firstly, I'm sure somebody is wondering what kind of job I had and what type of money I was making that I decided to walk away from. So I was making around 75, I think my final salary was 77K. I might be lying, but somewhere around there, 75 to 77. Just under 80K basically, which is good money. I only have an associate's degree, by the way. I do not have a 4-year bachelor's degree, so to me that's really good money. And also the company would give out annual bonuses and we would get bonuses throughout the year. There were a lot of incentives, and also I worked from home, so making that amount of money working from home, I mean, I think most people would agree that's pretty good. Also, the company I worked for was Black owned. It was a smaller company of less than 500 employees, and I worked on the accounting team as a payroll specialist. So basically, I was the person in charge of making sure that all the employees at the company got paid, and I would have to do other tasks such as help out with audits, financial audits, 401k audits, things like that, and submitting tax jurisdiction paperwork. So like if we, set up a new state for the company or something like that, I would have to submit the paperwork for that to make sure that the employees are taxed correctly and the employer, the company, is taxed correctly. So things along those lines. If you've ever done payroll, then you already know what I'm talking about. And I would have to do people's like W-2s at the end of the year and things like that. In terms of payroll isn't a terrible job. My main qualms with doing payroll is that, one, it's super annoying to get people to submit their timesheets and stuff like that. I was always complaining about that. It's so annoying because these are grown people who are just not submitting their timesheets. And then also it just feels like your year goes so fast because you're always like at least 2 weeks ahead. Some people, like some companies, you're even a month ahead. So like right now we're at the end of February, but if I was still processing payroll, I would already be thinking about the world in terms of March, because you have to stay a step ahead in order to submit. And then once you're in March, you're already thinking about April. And then once you're in April, you're already thinking about May, and so on and so forth. Makes your year go a lot faster. It's hard to live in the moment, in my opinion, when you're doing payroll. And then the other side of that is that being that we were such a small company and there was only one person doing payroll, which was me, I always felt like I could not take time off. And the times that I did take time off, I felt like I couldn't fully rest and I couldn't fully decompress because I knew that there would be a ton of work ready for me when I came back. Just in terms of your own mental health and your own, well-being, that's hard. That's hard to take on that responsibility and feel guilty all the time when you do want to take time off. Our company had a rule where we could roll over 40 hours of vacation and 56 hours of sick time. Anything else at the end of the year would be like adjusted off. And it burned my soul that every year I had all this extra PTO to use that I could not use. It wasn't like, oh, well, I'm just not using it and I'm just staying at work. It was that I felt like I could not use it because if I did not work, the work would not get done. And so these thoughts that I had been having over the years, even before I started this corporate job, they kind of just started to grow bigger and bigger and bigger in my mind. And I just could not ignore that voice anymore. And that voice was telling me that you're going to die doing something that you have absolutely no passion about because you're too scared to take a risk. So you're a scared little pussy bitch. Like you're scared to quit this job because what? Because you might not have as much money as you have now. Is money your leader? Do you serve money or does money serve you? Like I had to ask myself these questions in order to hype myself up to put that 2 weeks notice in. And it was a lot. And I'm not going to sit here and try to hype it up and say, I quit my job a month ago and I wasn't scared when I did it. I was terrified. I was terrified. I had the email drafted up in the morning at like 8 a.m. and I did not give it to my supervisor until 4 p.m. because I was scared. I was scared of the complications and the things that it would bring into my life. And I was scared of the weight and the extra responsibilities it was going to put on other people. I remember even telling a friend, like, I can't quit because this is going to create so much extra work for other people, because, you know, it takes a while to find like a payroll person, and then you have to train them, and it takes a while. And I just, having that care and compassion for the team that I had been working with for almost 5 years, I just was like, oh, I don't want to put that burden on them. And it's just like, is that bigger than the burden that's on you? Let me tell you guys, I was so depressed. I was waking up crying every day, even though I was working from home and I did not have to get up and actually go into the office. I was still waking up like right before I would have to sign in. So I used to sign in like 8:30. I would wake up like 7:50, just dreading signing in. For the last month, up until I put in my 2 weeks, I was crying every day in the morning when I woke up. I would sign into my computer, just like wiping my tears, trying to respond to emails. I was so stressed out. I called my mom one day, like having a panic attack, telling her like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, I don't know what to do. I just can't do this anymore. Like, hyperventilating, and she had to tell me like, take a deep breath and go out on my balcony. So like, I didn't freaking throw this computer or like harm myself. Like, it was very bad. And it wasn't because of the company that I worked for. Comparatively speaking, that's a great company to work for. It was because of me. It was because of me and not living up to my potential and not following my dreams and not listening to my inner self. Anytime something compromises your soul, you're gonna feel it. And that's what happened. I started to really feel the implications of not listening to my inner self, not listening to my soul, and not walking in my purpose. I know it's very scary because you may be out there, you might be like, well, I'm gonna quit my job, but I'm not sure exactly what I want to do, and I'm not sure exactly what direction I want to go to. And I felt that as well, because although I have an idea of what I'm doing now and the things that I wanted to do and the things that I wanted to accomplish, I didn't have like a blueprint of how that was going to work out. Like, go to high school, go to college, get a good job, work that job until you retire, get a pension, live your life. It was never like, well, try this or pursue your passion or something like that. So unfortunately, our generation is the one that's kind of waking up and being like, yo, we don't want to live like that. And for me, it just got to the point where it's like, I would rather take a chance, take that risk, and, you know, it's a 50-50 chance. It could go great, it could not go not so great, but at least I tried, at least I took the risk. That feeling of like, I need to at least try was so big. And so that's why I finally put in my 2 weeks. It just got to the point where I could not take it anymore. I could not stand working at that job one more day. Now, thankful to my mother, because she is so sweet. Shout out to my mother. She told me to not just be hasty. She was like, put your 2 weeks in, don't just quit the day of. I listened to her, and she was right, because again, the people at the job, other than just being annoying with their timesheets and stuff like that, they never did anything to me that was like, they never were like sexually harassing me or, you know, being discriminatory or anything like that. So I had no reason to just quit on them all of a sudden. So I did put my 2 weeks in. And it's so funny because the entire 2 weeks, I feel like the universe really tested me. They really tested me, because my supervisor and the CFO both threw money at me. They were like, well, you know, once these audits are done, we're gonna submit you for a bonus. Or are you sure? Is it a money thing? Did you need a bigger salary increase this year, and things like that? Like, they threw it at me, and it was tempting. And I had a second where I was like, I could go from 75 to 85K right now, no degree. Like, that does sound good, but it doesn't sit right with my soul. My soul was being compromised. And how can you put a price on your soul? Like, how can you put a price on your soul? You can't. So for me, I was just like, you know what? This is how I know I'm on the right path, because even with this money being thrown at me, and it did look good, and there were things that I could buy with that money, my soul was still like, nah, we've made a decision and we're sticking to it. So I quit my job so that I could breathe. And that's what I've been doing. And I feel like that's the realistic answer that I've been looking. I've watched so many videos on YouTube of people who quit their corporate job, right? And I'm like, damn, I wonder how they feel after. I wonder, what they've been doing. But a lot of the videos are super gimmicky. They're like, I quit my job and now I make over 6 figures in 2 months and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, sure, I'm not gonna say those people are lying, but that's not gonna be everybody's story. And I think that we also need to decenter money, because I've said this and I've said this to so many people, money doesn't rule me. Is money nice? Absolutely. Do I like money? Absolutely. Does money come to me easily? Absolutely. All these things are true. But money does not and will never rule my life. Money will never be the deciding factor in my life. There are so many other factors that come before money. And one is, how does your soul feel about it? How does your spirit feel about it? Does this sit right with you? Can you go to sleep at night sleeping comfortably? Because money can't tuck you in at night. Money is not going to keep you safe and secure in your mind. Like, money is not going to help your mental health. Money is not everything. I'm sure people want to know, what have I been doing in my time off and what I plan to do now that I'm not working a corporate job anymore. So firstly, I have been decompressing. I have tried my hardest not to think about money, not to think about work during this time, because I think it's important to get my mental state back to like a balanced like homeostasis, you know what I mean? After working and working and working and literally feeling like just bogged down by this corporate life and this corporate work and this hustle and bustle lifestyle, which does not work for me at all. I've just been really trying to just decompress and let things come to me, and they have been coming, y'all. Again, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and be like, I made all this money in this short amount of time, because that would not be true. But the opportunities have been flowing to me, and I feel like as I embrace this life even more and I step out of fear and step into my purpose, I feel like they're just going to continue to flow to me. So basically, if I had to sum it up all in a bow, I am pursuing entrepreneurship and authorship. So I've always wanted to be an author, a published author, so I'm working towards that and making great strides. And I've also always wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I'm also making strides in my business. My business's name is The Reader's Confidential. You probably can't tell, but that painting back there says The Reader's Confidential. That's the name of my company. It's already formed. I already have an LLC for it, which I've had for like 2 years, and I just never did anything with it because I didn't have the time, opportunity, or freedom. But now we do. Designed this journal. It's called The Reader's Confidential Journal. On the back it has like my little slogan, which is explore the mystery of reading. And on the inside, hold on. On the inside, it's a reading journal, so you can put like your title, genre, the rating, summary, notes and quotes, things like that. And then every few pages it does have a quote by either a famous Black person or a famous author. You know, this is a Black owned brand, y'all already know. But if you can see that, so every few pages it has like a quote. It's hardcover and it is available on Amazon, so I will leave that link below so that you can get it. I need to still like design a website. I still need to like set myself up on other avenues, and you know, more research needs to go into that so that I know exactly what to do. So if you guys are interested in learning more about entrepreneurship and seeing my brand grow and how I, you know, flourish with that and how I figure things out, stay tuned, because I do plan on making some videos around entrepreneurship and building my bookish brand. And then in terms of being an actual author, I've written a poem book, but those poems are very sensitive and dear to me, so I'm not sure if I'm going to publish that. But I'm also writing an erotic novel right now. I'm about halfway done. I have like 7,000, 8,000 words already, which is so exciting. It's not going to be like a super long, like 400-page book. It'll probably be around like 150 to 200 pages, and I'm really excited. So I can't wait to share that with you and give you guys more details about that once it's released. And yeah, other than that, I've been reading ARC books for authors, which is also something that I've always wanted to do, and they've paid me for it as well. So yeah, it's just very exciting. Like I said, opportunities will flow to you when you make room for them. So if you are interested in watching me get to it as an entrepreneur, as an author, as a freelancer, if you're interested to see in how I maintain this, how I go about making money, if I end up going back to having a traditional job, all of those things, just make sure that you subscribe so that you can stay tuned. I love you all for subscribing already. I really appreciate it. You guys don't even know how much it means to me. I literally do a little happy dance every time I gain some subscribers. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and of course subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.